Hey, I'd like to share with you the two ketchup story, two ketchup packets. In my testimony, I told you about how I traveled from Atlanta, Georgia to Monterrey, Mexico on a bicycle. Well, I was in Alabama, and it was some rolling hills, and I was wore out. And I remember kind of the heat of the day, I pulled underneath this bridge, not knowing it was a boat ramp there. I got down under the bridge in the shade, and I looked, and all I had was two packets of ketchup. And I sit and I prayed. I thanked God for the two packets of ketchup, and I ate them. And I remember just sitting there, just being sad. That's all I had. Not shortly after that, I heard a boat motor, and a boat pulled up to the ramp, and the guy got out and was getting ready to put his trailer in to pick up his boat. And I had a little bit of change I'd picked up along the way, so I walked over. I said, "Sir, is there any way I could buy like a pack of crackers?" And he goes, "I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir." So I went back over to my bicycle and just kind of, turned my back on him because I was a little bit embarrassed. And I guess about 4 or 5 minutes later, he had loaded up his boat and he was getting ready to pull off. And I heard him say, "Hey, I forgot I had these." And he walked over and he gave me a pack of plain crackers and a can of Vienna sausages. And I reached down and got my change. I'm like, hey, let me give you this. And he said, "No, you can have it." And I remember sitting there. I was so full of joy. I had a can of Vienna sausages and a crackers. It was a wonderful meal. And I just ate that, and I was so thankful. I ate, I got my bike, and I started pushing back up the on-ramp. It's a dirt on-ramp, back up to the highway. And right before I got to the highway, I looked, and I'm coming up the ramp, and this car is coming along. It stops and pulls off to the side of the road. And I look, and there's steam coming out from under the hood. And I look, and it's an older lady, probably in her 60s or 70s. And I said, "Ma'am, would you pop your hood?" So she popped her hood, and I was able to take the radiator cap off. And I said, "Ma'am," I said, "looks like you're low on water." And I said, "Hold on." So I went back down. I saw bottles empty, like people throw away drink bottles and all. So I went back down, and I got like 2 or 3, 4 drinking bottles, filled them with water out of the creek, came back and put them in the radiator, did a couple trips and got it. And I said, "Ma'am, you were just low on water." I said, "I think you're fine." And I couldn't help it. I shared with her the story of the 2 packs of ketchup, and then eventually getting the Vienna sausages and the crack. I was so happy that I just had to share that with somebody. And I said, "God has really blessed me today." And she reached in her wallet and she pulled out a $20 bill. And she said, "Son," she goes, "I've had this car all my life when it was brand new." She goes, "It's never, ever broke down on me, ever left me on the side of the road." She goes, "For it to break down at this point right here, I know it was meant to be." She gave me $20. And I rode down the road and I went to a service station. I got what I wanted to eat. I got even more food. But it was just the two packs of ketchup day, and I just wanted to share that with you. It always makes me happy to tell this story. A moment when God reached me at my loneliest and just provided what I needed, and more than what I needed. So He'll be there for you if He needs you. See ya.